It is a unique force that ignites the drive in the Marple Newtown Tigers. From offense to defense, senior to sophomore, the Tigers provide spark and excitement in every contest on the gridiron. Overcoming some inexperience and relying on the leadership and pride of just 10 seniors, these young Tigers battle to earn respect, not only in the tough Central League, but their formidable non-league opponents as well. The Tigers every year play one of the toughest schedules in Delaware County. To experience the excitement of the Marple Newtown Tigers, fans know that week after week, the hard work and preparation of players and staff keep opponents back on their heels and sometimes laying on their back. It is the pride and determination that makes the Marple Newtown Tigers the great football tradition that it is. Experience the excitement of the Marple Tigers in 1994. In 1994, the Tigers learned that hard work is required if you want to succeed each weekend.
As we looked forward to the '94 season, we knew we had some outstanding skilled people at quarterback and wide receiver, and a couple returning defensive players who should really shore up our defense. We knew we had a lot of holes to fill. 20-some seniors graduated the year before off a fine 8-3 season. A group of kids who worked very hard to make our program successful again. And we had a lot of holes to fill to be successful. The difference this year, I think, than last year was the number of kids who attended weight room June, July, and August. And the kids we counted on to fill all those slots, very few of them came to weight room this summer. There were more ninth graders in our weight room during the summer than there were sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And I think when the season started, kids reported out of shape. Kids were not as strong as the major teams in the Central League that we had to go up against. And I think it really showed as the season progressed. Weight room, off-season training, getting into the program is very critical in the summer months. You just can't start on August 15th, expect everything to fall in place, particularly when you're a young, inexperienced football team.
There was no other place to be than with the Marple Newtown family as the Tigers gathered together before leaving for their annual trip to Camp Paradise.
There's a time where the whole team comes together as one. You really need camp. It makes up our whole season because you all grow together. You spend so much time together, you live together, and you learn stuff about each other to really, like, it boosts the team up a lot.
I was alive, but I waited. I was alive, but I waited for this. Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be. Right here, right now. Watching the world wake up from history. Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be. Right here, right now. Watching the world wake up from history. Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be. Right here, right now. Watching the world wake up.
Camp Paradise was a lot of fun this year. I mean, we all bonded. It's like we had a special bond this year, so it's a good time all around. I mean, we got to practice done, we got work done. We're looking real good in the preseason, so it was a good time.
I think camp is very important because if you're going to play football with a bunch of guys, you can't play football with a bunch of strangers because you have to work as a team. In order to work as a team, you have to have had some sort of bonding. You have to, have some sort of relationship with these people, and camp is very important in doing that. Like, I never knew Mike Parsons listened to country music till he was playing at my cabin, and we made jokes about it, but everyone got to know each other, and we finally found out that we could play as a team because we were a team after camp. We were kind of like a family.
Now, there's just something that can be gained at a camp where you have kids 24 hours a day. You eliminate as many of the distractions as you can. They have to learn to live together, eat together, sleep together. And you hope when you come out of that camp, there's a unity. Rather than sophomores, juniors, and seniors, you really have a team atmosphere where kids trying to make us and make that football team and make and represent their school on the field. This year, I guess for the first time in the last 4, a large number of 9th graders also went to camp, which of course increased our numbers at camp, so that we had a very nice, large, over 50 players at Camp Paradise this year. But the camp is a very good experience, particularly when you are dealing with so many young and inexperienced players. And really a JV team coming up to fill varsity slots where not many of them played varsity football the year before. Hopefully when you come out of camp, you have things pretty well established. Now this year we didn't because of the uncertainty at positions, particularly in the offensive line. After we came back from football camp, we had a very good scrimmage against Interborough, who was the defending Del Val champs. We constantly look for improvement. That first few weeks of practice, we kept stressing to the kids, regardless of what happened this week, improve the next week. Move it up a level. Move it up a level. And our 2 scrimmages, first against Sun Valley, and then against Interborough, we definitely moved up each week, and we were very hopeful that going against East, we would play very well. On that opening night, East came ready to play football and beat up on us pretty bad. We did have a few bad breaks, a fumble, a key interception, but that's football. One play this way, one play that way, and things could be different.
We were a young team, and we started off on the wrong foot, but we're the type of team that's going to bounce back. We never gave up, and that's a strong point about Marple Newtown football is no matter how small we are, no matter how weak we are, I mean, we'll use everything we got to win.
Tigers really started their offense in motion in the next game against Academy Park. Under the lights at Harry A. Harvey Field, 3,000 people witnessed junior quarterback Chris Gicking throw for 308 yards in the game. Usually, Gicking can find one of his available receivers open for huge chunks of real estate. Junior Paul Brown, senior Justin Kidd, and junior Mike Mayako pulled in the most receptions at their positions in Delaware County this season. Of course, in order to be successful with the passing game, the offensive line must give Gicking time to throw. Senior Nader Ayub, sophomore Anthony Santangelo, senior center Cameron Gingras, sophomore Andrew Vanini, and junior Mike Parsons set up a wall in front of Gicking. But it was actually the running game that got the Tigers on the board in the second half.
We started running the ball more in the second half. Like, we were actually getting yards. So, I mean, we had the passing going and the running going. And then when the lightning struck, actually, when I scored my first touchdown, I didn't think of it at all because I knew it's the first touchdown of the game. I knew there's so much more we had to go. And I knew, don't count us out yet.
We went out there in the second half with determination. And once we started scoring, we believed in ourselves after that. And we were almost unstoppable. We put 20 points on the board in the second half, and Academy Park put up 6. And it was kind of a huge effort on both sides of the ball.
We started playing the kind of football we thought we were capable of, and really came back playing good, hard-nosed Marple Newtown football, and almost pulled that game out. It's all a growing experience. When you have that many young players playing varsity football for the first time, you get a lot of mistakes early.
Coach Smith came out and he said, I'm proud of you. You guys didn't give up. You know, you pushed forward. It was really good.
After a difficult week at Springfield, the Tigers returned home to meet Strathaven.
And this is the game, I think, that put us over the edge. So we asked Coach Smith, can we go on defense? We want to set the tempo. And he said, okay, go for it.
We realized that we had to step it up a level and that we had to get emotional. We also realized that to set the tone, the defense had to start making the hits. And the offense is kind of a machine, and it does the scoring, but the defense is really, you know, that really separates the men from the boys. I mean, the defense can stick people and set the tone. I mean, you have a running back coming at your defense, and you just lay them out, and you lay the whole offense out. And they're not really going to want to play you anymore. They'll all just kind of quit. And that's what we did. We went out there, 3 downs, and we stopped them, and they had to punt. And our offense came out in the ball and scored a touchdown. And they came out again, and we stuffed them again on defense, and it was contagious after that once we started beating them.
We got, I think it was 2 early touchdowns, and then we sat on that. And the defense just shut them down, came up big at the goal line, causing a couple turnovers at the goal line. This coach was telling us, you know, all week that they're going to fumble at the goal line. So, you know, they're going to either back some fumbles, so we just fortunately got it at the goal line. Felt great. First essentially win. Great, felt great.
The emotion and the momentum continued to build in the next game against Pencrest.
The Pencrest game, again, was a step in the right direction. As we stressed earlier in the season, try and improve every week. Pencrest is also one of the other teams in the Central League that was struggling. And we come out and scored fast and early. That might have been to our disadvantage. It seemed too easy. Then we gave up points. Then we came back out and scored fast and early again and got a big lead. It was our best offensive game. We put a lot of yardage, both running and passing. And it was a step in the right direction because now we had 2 wins in the league and we were moving straight ahead. We were getting better every week.
Kind of shocked a lot of people, even though we were this small and stuff. I mean, we came back and hit hard, and we came through when it needed to. Pencrest was a team that we knew we could beat, and after we showed it on the field and just showed it in our hearts that we could do it. And we needed that game too. We needed to get those games.
The team traveled to Ridley, where the Tigers always expect a hostile environment.
Anytime you play Ridley, it's going to be hostile. We went over there ready to play football. Emotionally, there's no doubt in my mind, both offensively and defensively. We were ready to play football. I thought we played a very good football game. we made some key mistakes, and they caught us every time we made a mistake. We moved the ball. We were in their territory. We would give up a big play. We would work hard and get back into it. Then we'd give up another big play. When you play aggressive defense, as we had to against Ridley to force our quarterback to throw early, you're going to make mistakes.
That point toss in the beginning, I mean, I was so ready for this game, and I was so pumped up to play. And we started, the game started off, and, we were hitting people, and we matched them head for head, helmet for helmet. We were hitting them just as hard as they were hitting us. Just the points didn't show it.
And that's another game I'd love to take back, because they came up with big plays that game, and we didn't. But the score is not at all shows how close it was.
I can say this, until the last whistle of the Ridley game, our kids never stopped hitting until the last whistle blew. Our kids aren't intimidated by the Ridley mystique, as they call it. Our kids look forward to playing against Ridley. Our kids look forward to playing against good teams because they know it takes their best that they can give us to compete with them.
Another night under the lights at Marple, Newtown. It's worth every joy and every pain that's experienced when you play football for Marple, Newtown. If you're dressed in white, beware the black.
I feel joy, I feel pain, 'cause it's still the same. When the night is gone, I'll be alone. Another night, another dream, but always you. It's like a vision of love that seems to be true. Another night, another dream, but always you. In the night I dream of love so true. I feel joy, I feel pain, 'cause it's still the same. When the night is gone, I'll be alone. Another night, another dream, but always you. It's like a vision of love that seems to be true. Another night, another dream, but always you.
The Tigers continued their winning ways against Radnor, who always give Marple a tough time.
Radnor this year probably had the best program that they have had in the last 3 or 4 years. They had some size, so this is probably the best Radnor team that they have had. But again, when we had to, when the chips were down, our kids got tough and made some key plays. When we had to make the big play against Radnor, we did, and of course come out on a winning note again.
Yeah, because we saw Radnor as a chance to kind of let out our anxieties. We were kind of frustrated after not beating Ridley. We kind of wanted to take it out on Radnor, and we did. We went out against Radnor, and we put some points on the board, and the score didn't turn out to be a blowout, but physically we were beating them pretty good.
The years before, we didn't beat Radnor that big, you know what I mean? So this year, we pretty much handled Radnor as best we could, and they're a big team with good speed. They were a good team this year, but we were able to handle them.
No matter how big they are, every year I think a lot of teams will go out there saying, this is Radnor, we got to win. This is the game we need to take all our frustrations out. Remember last year, I think we just pulled it out at the end. So this year we had to put it together, and Jar McGicking and everybody else on the team beat them.
Haverford presented the Tigers with a different kind of problem.
We really knew that Haverford had an outstanding trio of running backs with Bauer, Danby, and Hammond. Unbelievably, they hit 2 big passes on us, and we're down 12-0 on passes because they did not run the ball successfully against us. Right there, our kids could have quit, but they didn't. I think one of the best games we played to this point in the season was against Haverford, although the score does not show that. We fought back, made that field goal right at the end of the first half, which put us right back in the game.
They were going nuts. Coach Smith, I never heard of a more positive speech that he's ever said before. He was all for us, and the team was.
When we came out the second half, we still had that momentum, but it kind of, I think it was because Haverford, their size was very dominating, and we kind of started to tire out in that second half.
And we played up them. They had Gary Hammonds. He averaged 14 yards a carry before he played us, and we shut him down all day, and then we actually took him out of the game. But they were a big team. They had like a lot of guys, a lot of running backs, and by the end of the game, they were just getting yards.
The Tigers pride themselves on their defense. With many of the top running backs in the Central League, the Tigers are always ready to go for it.
We're going to roll that ball and run right to hell.
To be or not to be dope, that's the question. Are you gonna stop or keep on rushing? Farther, faster, quicker than the next man. To be the best is the master plan. Go on with all you got, give it your best shot. Don't ever think about trying to stop. Keep reaching, pushing, hoping for perfection. Make up your direction. Don't ever stop for a moment. Prove you want it. If you got it, flaunt it and get up on it. Go for yours, not for a minute, but all the time. You better do it 'cause I'm going for mine.
It was the type of defense where I really liked. I love playing our defense. Missing Pat, outside linebacker, and Tim McCune just filled in his spot. Progressive big kid, and he doesn't take anything. So it worked out really well. We lost Brett Thomas, our starting safety, and Steve Camarotto came right in and seemed like it just slipped right into his shoes, no problem. Steve was there talking to us, wasn't scared to do anything. Wasn't just a great kid and hell of a football player. So they're lucky to have him coming back.
After a difficult week against Upper Darby, the Tigers prepared themselves for their final game under the lights.
Senior night, when we honor the parents with their players, and of course the band gets involved in senior night, or cheerleaders get involved in senior night. Senior night has always been a very big tradition at Marple Newtown High School. There's just that special feeling that you want to perform well in front of parents and friends and grandparents and everybody else that comes to the game because of who we're honoring. This year, we only had 10 seniors on our football team. So there aren't a lot of seniors that we'll be losing next year. The seniors that were on this football team played their hearts out.
Every game you go out on the field and you have the stands are full of people who are watching you, but it isn't until senior night when you walk out with your parents that you finally realize how much pride they have in you. I mean, you're proud that night to play for your parents.
It's kind of emotional. It's kind of misty-eyed. My parents enjoyed it live, and I love being out there for the last time.
It's just it's a time where you let everything go, and you're going to do it for everybody in the stands, make them proud. I love looking up at my dad and all the other parents. If you do something big, you see them smiling, you know, it makes you feel really good inside. It makes you feel you want to do a play twice as good.
We love the way you guys support us every week. We gotta say that, because if we didn't have all the positive attitudes you guys give us, I don't know where half of us would be. You know, that's what we really need, and we really want to tell you that we really appreciate that. All right, appreciate you all coming out to all our games and being there for us. Give us a pat on the back. You know, it feels really good. All right, so just want to all say thank you. It's nice for you.
I just want to add, it's real easy to be fans when we're winning, but we're 3-6 right now, and it's amazing that there's this many people in here. You guys are out here every week in the stands, and it's an incredible thing to have this many people supporting you every week, win or lose. But
Thank you.
Say thanks for the drink. You came, Lower Marion.
Sun went down and the night came through while my heart still lay deep inside for you. Wishing and hoping for just one more try. I refuse to wave the love we shared goodbye. But it's not too late, no need to make you wait. You're always in my heart, no need to hesitate. It took us so much time for us to make it right. So darling, don't you wait, it's really not too late. Please make this an endless night. With just a little love we can make it right. But still, I know I always loved you so. I hope this endless night won't let you go. Please make this an endless night. With just a little love we can make it right. But still, I know I always loved you so. I hope this endless night won't let you go. It's an endless night. With just a little love we can make it right. But still, I know I always loved you so. I hope this endless night won't let you go. Please make this an endless night. With just a little love we can make it right. But still, I know I always loved you so. I hope this endless night won't let you go.
Well, every senior year is usually a good game, and I've always wondered why. My sophomore year, we played Upper Darby, and we had no business, but we were up going late into that game, and it was amazing. I didn't play the game, but it was just amazing, you know, the emotion that was involved in the game. And then next year, they played Haverford on senior night, and beat Haverford pretty good, and it was amazing. Just these games were so emotional, and finally, it was my turn.
I really think when you're honoring kids and their parents, you're always going to get performances beyond the call of duty, beyond their physical ability, because everybody wants to do good for their family's sake. And of course, when they do, that makes our program look that much better.
The Tigers struck twice in the first quarter. Jason DeCecco scored, and on the next possession, Chris Gicking fired to a streaking Mike Mayako, and the Tigers had a 14-0 lead.
Lower Marion physically was the biggest team in the Central League. They had a couple 280-pounders, a couple 260-pounders. But again, Lower Marion, our defense made big plays. We forced fumbles. That could have been anybody's game because Lower Marion at that time had the same identical record as we did. They were trying to get into the upper half of the league like we were. And it all came down to good defense, and our defense came up with very big plays when they had to.
Clinging to a 14-12 lead late in the game, the Tigers' defense had to come up big one more time.
Right there, we knew that this two-point conversion, if they scored, that it would be a tie, and we couldn't accept that. We didn't want a tie. The game was there. We all said it. We said, this is the game. This right here is the game. And it was one play where we just went all out, and it kind of reckless abandon on that play. Nobody let up one bit on it.
Luckily for us, it worked that time, and of course, we held on for a 14-12 win.
I'll tell you, we got it out of there. You got the big plays here at the end when we needed them. We didn't need the touchdown. You held the ball, and that was the important thing. There's a win, the monkey's off your back. You worked hard. You earned it. Defense, congratulations, you're on the field so long, I don't know if we're ever going to get you off of there. Offense, when you had to there at the